He does. Still, minute and 15 seconds of reserve time to work with here for 9Pandas. All the time in the world to give this last pick some good consideration. And so it's going to be someone has to lane quite effectively versus Medusa and
Razor?
And the yeah, Razor could work.
Yeah, I like the idea of either Dawnbreaker or Razor actually, just because Razor you can stack like Medusa, that's most of the damage gone, and Dawnbreaker, you know, the heal and the global presence. I feel like it's one of those two, and watch when they pick Pudge. You know, they always do that. You're like, man, I really believe.
Well, I'd believe as well if they pick Pudge, man, every single time. No matter what situation, if someone's picking Pudge, I'm all in on them. Let's go.
Breaks the coil, doesn't it? You know, you want to hear the breaks.
It does.
Bench swaps one, Pudge hooks the other. You're like, there you go.
Yeah, hook the Pangolier mid-roll, something like
Mars.
that.
See, it's always like that. You have strong feelings about that last pick. It's always something completely different. But it's pretty good.
As we mentioned earlier, it feels like the only
Mars, because you can, as we mentioned,
play the Mars were the SA teams, but never mind. 9Pandas feeling like this hero is still relevant. They can roll with it as well.
It's going to be the position for Invoker. It's going to be Quinn on the Pangolier. I do think Pango can do more if he's very active on the map. Like, you know, we see Bryle just absolutely shred the enemy team with it. It does feel like it's a bit more countered by the puck than an Invoker would be, though. You know, like you get Dream Coiled, you're just going to suffer. Whereas Invoker a little bit more tends to be a little more durable, tends to just be able to withstand it a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. You'll have a bit more survivability to him in that regard. But you know, we will see how this ends up panning out. Looking at the two drafts, is there one you're clearly leaning towards, or does this feel like more of a 50-50 style game?
I was in the beginning. I was leaning very much for GG, but the last two picks really solved a lot of the problems. They have this Sven for damage. You have the Mars front against the Medusa, which most of the physical damage, so you're going to be absorbing it. And I don't know. I didn't like that last Pango pick. And in terms of results,
okay,
very one-sided for GG.
It is
3/3 of you believe in them.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry.
I feel like it was going to be kind of expected to see GG just generally be the favourites, but in that previous series, we did actually see Evil Geniuses have 85% of you guys siding with them, and that clearly did work out. So you know, we'll see how this one actually does pan out, of course. Obviously, yeah, like you were mentioning, the final few picks there from 9Pandas did solve some issues, but see if they can play with it.
You know what I like is that, have you ever been messaged by an angry person on Twitter because you said that you believe this team is going to win and then they lost and they go, I lost $500 because you're like, I'm sorry, dude. Firstly, I just thought they would win. Now, you see 85% are wrong. You're like, it's not so easy now, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we always knew what was going to be the outcome of these games, then there'd be literally no point in watching it. It would be watch the draft, and then that's it. Don't even bother playing it, and then, you know, that's boring. No one wants that. So, you know, these things happen. Keeps the game interesting.
Why watch the game when you can go watch something else? But yeah, and in this particular game, it feels very even at that last pick. You know, like the last couple of picks really brought 9Pandas draft back up. But GG has been the better team, so I'm still going to go with them. Oh, so it's red because it's on the other side. Okay.
I suppose red for Dire. Haha. See, production knows what they're doing, Atomo. They know.
White for the Radiant side here. Smoke up by 9Pandas, hoping to find someone quick. They plant a nice ward on the enemy. That's sort of the area that usually the Radiant would be waiting for. The Radiant, they're also trying to loop and go find their own pick-off. And wow, they also get a deep ward.
Yeah, and they're in a very strong position right now with this high ground ward. They see MieRo hiding in the trees. Can they find the correct angle of approach, though, to actually try and find a kill? Where they're hiding so close to those tier 1s, it's going to be difficult. But we'll see if anyone steps out of position.
No mana burn on 9Pandas. That could be an issue. I mean, Sven does do a huge amount of damage, so it's not like you absolutely must 100% have mana burn to deal with the Medusa, but definitely goes a long way.
Yeah, it will help quite considerably. Maybe.
And no one's going to be building Diffusal either.
Diffusal Blade on Nature's Prophet, maybe? He's got pretty decent attack speeds.
Yeah, but not the best. Then he's like, guys, let me get Manta. At that point, you're like, listen, just play position one. All right, you clearly want to.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Antares came over to try and secure the bounty, and all he secured is first blood there for tOfu. Ends up giving that one away, and it's still going to be 2 for 2 on the bounties as well. So nice little freebie there picked up from Gaimin. And once again, man, it supports getting these initial kills. That just seems to be the trend of the day.
And so far, every time a sport has got the first kill, they've won the game. And both the previous series, both games, Whitemon got the first blood and they won. This game, tOfu gets it. I'm sensing a pattern.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that 75% now was looking pretty damn accurate. Even the win probability, look at that. Looking Gaimin.
That's pretty big for the fact that's like the game just began. Either way, Bomb Lane, Seleri, and Antares trading hits. That level 1 wave of tear, by the way, 85 damage, reduces armor, reduces the enemy out damage up. It's incredible for trading. It
is, yeah. Now you can see Antares just slowly outpacing Seleri there. Also has some has the stick already, which normally when you're going up against a bat rider, it's like just start with a stick. But if the bat just never levels napalm, then not as great as it could have been.
Right, they go with like the max flame. It's like max flame break, max firefly, and that's it. And then they put maybe 1 point sticky napalm later on. It's like, oh well, that kind of blows.
Yeah. One thing I saw there, tOfu actually starting off the game with the Quinn blade. You know, you're up against that Nature's Prophet. Just a very value pickup.
It is, although I imagine, yeah, it's probably going to be like an investment for the entire game, not just the laning phase. Because now the tangos eat it, you don't really need it. I mean, then the tangos they heal you when you eat a tree. It's not that bad, but later on, you're not going to want to have tangos. Quinn blade is going to be a decent option at all points.
Yep. That's true. And you know, if there's ever a time in the game where you want to go tea party as well, there's the option just to tunnel into the trees. Meanwhile, Seleri maybe getting got him right now. The spear didn't actually latch onto the tree. Going to use the firefly up to the high grounds.
Nice juke.
Yeah, he's gone. Very nice stuff.
Well,
it's a lot of damage done though.
Very well played. I was like, oh, he's dead for sure. Solo taking a bit of damage himself, and dyrachyo is actually queuing up the phylactery. I want to see this item buffed a little bit. It's either too expensive or just not effective enough, because it's in the very mid-tier item where it's too good to be a cheap, you just buy it and sell it later like an Orbital Corrosion, but it's not good enough to keep past something like 30 minutes of the game. So,
yeah. I agree. I mean, it was really cool when it came out. I think they did nerf it by, was it like 25 or 50 damage? I can't actually remember.
Oh no, they buffed it actually.
Did they?
They buffed it, yeah.
Oh.
They removed the recipe, they added Sage Mass, so you get a bit of mana regen, and they increased the damage as well. I think it was 125 or 150, then they improved it to 175.
Meanwhile, down bot lane, dyrachyo takes a heck of a beating right there. He's got 8 stick charges to use, going to use them right now, but with the involvement of Solo, 3 heroes versus 2, that's all you need to get the win. Down goes the carry Medusa. Very nice rotation coming out, and we saw this in the previous series with the Natures, but Ramses easy capitalized there on the 2v1 from Gaimin. So both carries actually end up dying.
Dude, look at the mid lane though. Kiyotaka is just he's getting styled on. There's no other way to say it. Quinn is destroying him, doubling him in terms of CS. He almost has the same amount of denies as Kiyotaka has last. Just gets a nice casual deny. Kiyotaka can't even get that one either because it's right on the tower.
Yeah.
A masterclass by Quinn.
This is pretty rough. As a result, he's going to be able to hit those levels just that tiny bit sooner. And maybe with a rotation from some supports on the sidelines, could see some early deaths there for old kiyotaka. Actually, speaking of early deaths, maybe he's going to be able to get this water involved though. But even still, I think Quinn's going to try and stand his ground and take this kill. Does all back towards the tower. tOfu's in, but so is Solo, and there goes Quinn. The Pangolier does fall. And very nice rotations there from 9 Pandas. Just once again, they bring the numbers, and they come out on top.
I mean, he's been showing up for these kills. Bot lane, he went once to get them a kill. I think he's got both kills on him for this Nature's Prophet. So having a very nice time. It does force Ramses to be alone. It's not the biggest problem when tOfu leaves as well, but if it's 2-on-1, we saw him, he just lose his life. So Solo forced to just run straight away back top.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Like tons of slows, stuns in this lane. And it's very difficult for Ramses just to try and walk himself out of those situations. So, I mean, we mentioned this in the previous series as well that when you've got like that position for Nature's Prophet, like in the previous series, it's fine if you can leave the lane and you have a core which doesn't mind being on their own, but the Sven can definitely be punished for that.
Yeah, despite getting that kill, Kiyotaka still suffering a little bit here, although Solo, as we mentioned, those 2 kills, giving him a huge amount of net worth advantage right now, way ahead of Seleri.
Yeah, now just all on top right now. All 3 cores as well from the side of Gaimin at the top, but it's not like a humongous lead by any means, but maybe if they can just keep this pace of farming, it will become real scary. Meanwhile, Solo has been caught out, trying to TP back, but cold snap to the face.
And I think dyrachyo has changed his mind about going for the phylactery. He goes for the mask, Ring of Basilisk. I was about to call, I almost forgot his name for a second, and just gonna go for Power Tres afterwards. So, not interested in fighting too early with his team.
Yeah, just gonna leave them to their own devices. Classic carry playstyle, hit creeps rather than heroes. You know, that's all they want to do.
Okay, I love when you get dyrachyo, been in trouble.
Big lockdown right now. The spear does actually latch onto the tree because it was cut.
What?
Bit of a whoopsie there, but even still, dyrachyo's trying to stand his ground. Doesn't have much mana to play with, so he has to be very careful. But still, 14 stick charges. It's going to be safe enough to stay here for now. But who was it that cut that tree? Was that actually was that Seleri that cut it?
I'm not sure. I mean, it wasn't. It's like, I feel like it should have hit one of the trees. You know what I mean? Like he's standing. Is it really so precise that gets through the gap? Quinn?
Yeah.
Oh, almost ulties.
Drop the Dream Core right now. TP also coming in from Solo. Maybe that's going to be enough. The leash is about to end, but Quinn runs out of HP before that comes out. Ends up being a nice free kill once more for 9 Pandas mid lane. Even getting a D-Ward to boot. Just, yeah, this is looking great for Kiyotaka. Started off rough with the CS, but coming back on in.
That doesn't mean that Solo can't actually teleport and steal the enemy Wisdom Rune, but I don't think he cares too much about that, just because they were able to get the 2 kills on Quinn after what looked like a very dominant start for him. Oh, Solo?
Yeah, gonna get soloed at this rate. Ace is gonna dive under him, even committing the split. No hope in hell's chance here for Solo to get himself out of this one, and he will just fall eventually. You know, it takes a little bit of time, but he will fall. Oh, actually using sticks.
Oh.
Sprouts in the entire Brew army, but he does still die. But yeah, this is obviously Ramsey's just not feeling comfortable to be anywhere near the lane anymore. Like he's actually having to jungle.
It's fine for him though, getting his team those neutral items. Ace is going for the first item, Hand of Midas, and that kill really accelerates it. Because I was thinking like, it's a bit much to use your ultimate like that.
Oh, the spear! That was not good. That's going to cost MieRo his life, I think. A little bit of a whiff. Oh dear.
Probably dead either way, right? But yeah, these spears, some finicky mechanics going on them for sure.
Quite as easy to hit as it normally is. Meanwhile, Dream Call there, once again locking down onto Quinn. 3 people on top of him, another stun just as he was about to get out of the leash. And maybe now Seleri is also going to get caught out. He's still quite healthy, but Solo just going to be able to teleport in front. But the Quelling Blades, man, this is why you get the Quelling. Even still, it's actually not going to make a difference. He does still die, but it nearly pays off.
I'm very impressed by what they can do with this Puck, Venge, and Nature's Prophet combination. I thought that they'd struggle a little bit more, but the amount of damage that they can all output is working out for them.
Yeah.
And although Ramsey's is not, it's not the Pakaz performance we had in the previous game, you know, where it was like at this point like Pakaz was like 1,000 gold at everyone, and MieRo's looking very dead.
Yeah, he's got a DD Pangolier rolling on his face. Not really any chance of surviving. Too many deaths in the rope for him, and now even Solo potentially. Quinn still has the DD, so he's more than willing to dive a tower with this one. Just going to be the +1. Still, he doesn't get any of the kill credits, going towards absolutely everyone else but him.
It's fine. Actually, Quinn might need those kills. His net worth isn't exactly what I thought it would be. Only 3.4. It's okay though. As long as he's making space, that's really all that matters. Invoker's also got the Urn, so now he doesn't need anyone. He can just combo with the Cold Snap by himself. And Ace has finished the Hand of Midas very early. He is gonna be hella farmed.
Yeah, already setting up to just start spiraling out of control there on the old Brute. Meanwhile, Antares maybe going to be caught. The spear does actually connect this time. Seleri, He's thinking about trying to make a solo dive there, but actually with the involvement here of Kiyotaka and Solo coming on in, no chance of surviving that one. They actually commit the Dream Coil for that kill. Maybe, was that needed? I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Finally, we get the arena, and they're going to go for this, and this looks like a fairly easy kill on dyrachyo. Kiyotaka gets a double kill ace.
Gonna pop the split right now. Doesn't really care about going on towards Kiyotaka. It's a difficult kill to find. Instead, maybe wants to just secure the much easier one onto the Venge right now. Locked in, and does go down. But, you know, that's a very small consolation prize considering how they still lost their own support plus their carry.
Yeah, dyrachyo, we were talking about, you know, Ramsey's not being too far ahead, but it's starting to create a little bit of a distance between him and the Medusa. And I kind of like the Sven a little bit more than the Medusa. Not against each other, but because Sven can just like easily start, you know, burst down supports with a couple of hits. Medusa takes her time to get those skills going.
It does. And we see on the camp stack there, tons made by Gaimin Gladiators, and they even spot out the ones on the 9 Pandas side. They're going to try and snatch these away. And there's just no one really around here. 9 Pandas contest it. Now finally they are turning up. That orb, I think, killed like one of them. That is it. And I think that was that quad stack or I think that was quad, wasn't it?
That was 4. That was a lot of creeps. That was definitely a lot of them. And meanwhile, Ramsey takes the attack speed talent just so that you can clear out creeps. Although the Warcry Hydration is also pretty useful because you get that bonus movement speed for a longer time. So I've seen some people go for this, some people go for that. Do you have any preference?
Not really. Just depends where I am.
Yeah, they're both good.
All situational, my friend. All situational.
That's the standard no answer.
Dodged. Evade. Got out of that
very
one.
well. I'm
But
very proud of you.
Here you go.
Look at MieRo's now.
Is under attack. Dire's top tower is under siege. Isn't looking good. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's pretty massive, especially when you consider the fact that they stole a quad from the side of 9 Pandas, and now they're getting a 5 stack of their own for dyrachyo. This is going to be a really, really nice tool to excel their farm.
Takes a while though, you know,
does.
like it is no fast one. tOfu will actually stack all of that by himself. What do we want to go for here? Overall, a bit of a quiet game since both teams really like believing in their carry taking late.
I think the stream has actually died, unfortunately. It's a bit sad. Hopefully it gets fixed soon. People can go back and watch the Dota magic. From MieRo. Maybe gonna get got on, but nice spear will land and the TP gets cancelled from the rest of Gaimin. No problem there.
God Strength coming out, but it seems like it's just going to be mostly for farm. Yep, there you go. And stream's back up, by the way. So just a refresh, and there we are.
Alright, all fixed. No problem. No problem.
We weren't worried. Whenever anything like that happens, my heart like drops out, and I'm thinking to myself, please don't be my internet.
Yeah. It's like, as long as if it's someone else's fault, please.
Exactly.
Don't let it be mine.
If they tell me one of the production computers is on fire, I'll be like, well, that's too bad.
Yeah. Seleri though, talking about being on fire, trying to set a little flame of his own. Duking out from the high ground, he's doing a good job. Does he actually get himself out of this one? Solo is trying to predict the path he's going, cancelling all of these TPs, but all that does is give time for Antares to get close enough for a missile. They do get the kill in the end.
Not Seleri's best game so far. He has been taking a lot of these kills. I don't think like it's bad that he's dying a lot. Just that for the team personally, it's okay, but for him, he's like, Des, Sphere comes out, stuns. They want to get this kill.
They're gonna try to. Pull-up stun comes in. Hammer is not gonna connect though. Jesus, that swashbuckle did a ton of damage right now. Now the turnaround is coming on in. tOfu with good connection on towards MieRo, draining away all of his mana. Still another roll runs through. Second swash does get the kill, and now Ramsey's charging through. They're going to be able to get the grab on towards tOfu right now. Seleri coming in. Will get killed on towards Antares. Has to now use the Flame and Lasso to run away from Ramsey's, but he's so damn slow, but it does not matter. He's got the tools to disengage, and Quinn, again, he swashes, man, doing so much work, but still, the puck does survive. Can they find Solo? That is the question.
They have an idea that they're picking out the general area, but can they get him? I think Solo was. Oh, I thought he was further than he is, and so it's like he's gonna be making out just fine. A couple of seconds to have his TP out. Overall, a victory for Gaimin Gladiators, losing what? Just the Invoker and getting 3 kills in return. You're very happy with that.
Yeah,
and
pretty good.
Brewmaster Radiance. This is going to be a very annoying Radiance for 9Pandas because Sven is not really a hero that wants to build a whole lot of MKB.
No.
You know, and you might be forced to because you're up against a Medusa who could get Butterfly and the Radiance. If I was Medusa, I'd actually skip the Butterfly, you know, because then you provide more value for them, KB, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's very true. Unless maybe you wait until the Sven is already 6-line and then you build it.
Right, then you get it. Oh, Ramsey is...
Yeah, man, those right clicks from Ace, they hurt so much.
Yeah, that was the first BKB.
Yeah, he's purely defensively. I mean, Ace is top farm core, 10k net worth for him. So it makes sense about why this guy hurts so damn much. And again, like you mentioned earlier, he got that hand of Midas online at a really, really nice time, and it's paying off fantastically right now as they're going to make another move on towards MieRo. Burning away a majority of his mana, pushing it backwards. He doesn't even get a chance to spear. Well, he does at the very end, but man was already dead.
That first BKB coming out just defensively on Ramsey is... That's a bit of an ouch, you know. You're like, that's not good at all. 4k advantage for GG, not the biggest deal in the world, but it is increasing. And MieRo, he's the one. I feel like he's the big. I mean this in terms of net worth, but the big loser right now. You know, like he is just so far behind everyone else.
Yeah, only 1,000 gold ahead of his own support there of Solo. Definitely just. I mean, he has been like enemy and #1 so far for Gaimin Gladiators. They've gone on him every single damn time. I think he's got like six deaths, 5 deaths, something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely got. It feels like he definitely got the majority of them this game. And so, here we go.
Try again, but there's actually the 2 supports here for 9Pandas to try and turn this fight around. And actually, looks like Seleri's the one who's taking the beat in. Does drop the arena, but not really much follow up. Actually, there is some kiyotaka jumping in with good dream coil onto a few of them, but Quinn's able to use the rolling thunder. Gonna just charge through, gets the 1 stun, plus the sunshine coming through. It's not a lot of exalt though, so kiyotaka does actually manage to survive. Ace though is not going to be so fortunate, but still, kiyotaka actually ticks out there from tOfu. And no detection, or actually,
they got him.
They drop the sentry, and that is going to be a dead man. Tries to tornado his way out of there, but not successfully. So at the end of the day, it's a 3 for 2, but the 2 are supports. Like, 2 supports on Gaimin side, 2 cores for 9Pandas, but obviously the Brew was most farm core, so still value.
Yeah, it's a really big win for 9Pandas. Dyrachyo was farming the whole time, so it's not like you completely too bad solo.
Yeah, man, the action just does not stop.
It's equal now.
Happening. Yeah, just tying it all up. Even get the tier 1 tower for good measure. Ramses is nearby. He's actually going to stick around to finish off this camp. Is that going to cost him his life? No, it's not. He does blink dagger away.
It doesn't feel like Ramses will be providing too much damage if they fight right now. He's got Blink, BKB, Mask of Madness. It's not the scariest thing in the world.
See on the replay. Maybe that time was just MieRo baited in, like they knew they were going to go for him. So everyone else was just set up waiting for it to happen.
Decent kill, and that last Radiance burn actually gets the kill on Kiyotaka, so that's nice, but you still gave up way more than you would have liked here, and unfortunately no Brew split. I think he gets out of there and just the burn at the last second. So oh no, actually sorry, it was the ice path.
Yeah, no, wasn't it a Spirit Vessel?
Oh, sorry, my bad. What?
Too
One
many dots
random
going on,
AoE,
man.
right?
Oh,
The
dear.
time. That's definitely a Batrider killing him.
Oh, 100%. You're not wrong there, Otomo. But even still, this is Gaimin Gladiators just continuing their lead in this game. Number 1. 7k gold advantage right now. And looking to maybe make that a tiny bit higher as Kiyotaka has been caught. Will just orb off to the side. Sunstrike not going to be on target, but dyrachyo, man, feeling eager, but can't quite get the full connection onto the puck.
Yes, that's the courier though. That's 450 gold for the entire team. That's no small bounty as well. So still happy at least to get something with that. And I really like the move of the Sunstrike to provide damage. It didn't work out, but as I've said before, sometimes a good move is still a good move, even if it doesn't get you anything.
Yeah. As long as it was a good move.
As long as it's a good, yeah, right. It makes us happy. And look at Nature's Prophet, completely skipping the wrath of what's it called, the summons for now.
Dire is scanning for enemies.
Well, nice little soda coming in, but he might bump into Ace. Meanwhile, actually, Kiyotaka's the one who's getting bumped into. Didn't have enough follow-up damage. Actually, was able to phase shift there. Super close. Actually, Solo he comes in after the puck and already managed to get himself out of there. That feels kind of rough. But the rest of the 9 Pandas are here with this little smoke. Maybe they're going to try some sort of counterplay. They see Seleri.
No Ramses though?
Yeah, it's going to be a hard one.
3 versus 5. That's like you might get into a 3 versus 5. dyrachyo, he is okay. Let's close to Kiyotaka. They're starting to catch him. Oh, I hear a swap.
Yeah, off to the side. The rest of 9 Pandas there, but actually Medusa now quite separate from the rest of the team, so that's going to be an attempt from 9 Pandas. Yeah, Stone Gaze is there, making this very difficult for Ramses, but they're running out of mana right now. They need some help with this Medusa to keep himself going. I just don't think there's anything, and he will end up falling down. Ramses through persistence manages to get the kill. MieRo looks like he'll be the trade. Ramses, man, he actually also gets a +1 onto Quinn, taking down the 2 main cores there on the side of Gaimin Gladiators. This Sven on an absolute mad one right now. Ace elsewhere getting a double kill of his own. Can he find anything else at the tail end of this? Ramses trying to hide in the trees. Good flank taker off to the side, but tOfu in the right place at the right time to stop that. Even the pull backwards there from the Void Panda. And Ramses is going to try his best to get himself out. Kiyotaka also nearby, but there's not really much they can do with the swap. Gets him out of there. Ramsey's going to be A-okay, or is it? He's actually coming back in. He wants to maybe finish off this fight, just chucking out the casual stun. And it does end up being just another trade of supports, but what a huge swap there from Antares, keeping this carry alive.
We were saying, like, I mean, as I was saying, I don't think that we were going to see Ramses be able to do too much damage. He did the most damage in that fight, and just coming in, bursting on down those supports. dyrachyo actually lost his life in that situation as well. A little bit tough. Ace is really the true carry right now in Gaimin Gladiators, but you kind of want dyrachyo to be starting to take that lead himself. He's going to go straight up for the butterfly after the Skadi. Okay. We're realizing that Sven is getting ready for the MKB though. I already saw him pick up the Blitz Knuckle. So he's going to have it. It's awkward timing for dyrachyo, really.
Yeah, it's literally completed up now. I mean, is there any way that he spots that item quickly and decides to build something else? I mean, has dyrachyo actually committed any of his gold towards this butterfly yet?
I think he's bought one of the pieces. Not quite sure. I like Seleri's pickup of going for this for the Pavis. This item is amazing against Sven with all that physical damage. It's not a nice bit of mitigation that we're going to see from it. But yeah, I'd like to see if he can miss or not for the butterfly.
It looks like he actually buys a Shadow Blade instead. Meanwhile, tOfu trying to get himself out. Sprout will find him, and eventually he does just die.
Solo gets the kill as well. Solo doing a very nice job of making sure he's top dog at least among the supports.
Yeah.
Which he might need to be as we go later into the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, 9 Pandas were looking like they were going to go Roche right then, considering how they still had God Strength activated, but they did a U-turn and ran away for some reason. Like, what do you think that was about? There was no one around for gaming.
Yeah, that was a bit weird because, one of the best team fights heroes on the enemy side is gone. Did you see the damage? MieRo's only done 3,000 damage. Not the highest this game.
Yeah,
Jim is
But you got to consider how much damage he's done to towers with that hammer. Probably still not much, but even still, they're going to get this grab on towards Ramses. If they can actually burst him down, he pops the BKB, but once more, there is the swap. Ace is going to try and chase him down with the help of Quinn, obviously.
BKB is about to go down.
Still forward. Yeah, they've called him. Drops him down straight into the Rolling Thunder. And a nice clean 2 kills there for Gaimin Gladiators. See if they force down this tier 2. They potentially could go high ground right now. There's no
right?
for 70 seconds.
I was looking, I was like, oh, it's only 25. He's dead for 70 seconds in 25. That feels a bit too much for me, but we'll see if Gaimin Gladiators decides to go for this team.
I feel like they might have, but the Wrath of Nature from the Nature's Prophet just killed the entire creep wave, so they didn't actually have anything to push forward, which was a shame. So I feel like they might have.
It's still fine. Your carry gets to farm for free for a minute while the enemy carry doesn't. And Solo is going to be losing his life as well.
Yeah, nice pick off there.
Man, this is just Gaimin Gladiators slowly but surely getting more control of the map. dyrachyo, he's controlled. There's not a Demanta.
Yeah, I mean, look at the minimap. He has no teammates near him whatsoever. He might end up going down for this, and they will manage to get the jump off to the sides. Oh, they actually caught him! He did... What? Wait, was he silenced or something? Why did he not jump to his orb?
You're going to have to ask him. We'll ask them in the post-game interview. You know...
Yeah.
Especially if they lose, Jenkins will be like, do you think that's what cost you? Oh, dyrachyo's caught.
That's massive, man. They can actually get the swap back in towards the base. He has managed to use the Stone Gaze at the very least. The rest of the team coming on in. EMP is there with the shard. It does track them back. They're trying to make as much space as possible, but these right clicks from Ramses, man, there's just no way to stop it at all. And they end up getting the kill. So sure, they did lose the puck, but killing the Medusa inside their own base is absolutely massive.
Despite the fact that he was able to get a great Mantis dodge on the Stormhammer, it was enough, and yeah, he's by himself. dyrachyo, very confident in his durability, but he gets punished for it eventually. He did manage to survive multiple, like, attempted pickoffs, but eventually one of them is going to catch you. And Solo is going for the Heaven's Halberd. I love it. You look at the enemy team, the only physical damage is going to be coming out from this Medusa. Make sure she's gone. So, oh, tOfu's gone.
He is dead. There you go, a bit more damage done by MieRo there. He's recovering.
Yeah. Big fan of the Heaven's Halberd on Solo. I think it's just fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. It's a huge item to get, because Medusas in general don't ideally like to build BKBs if they can possibly avoid it. So you pretty much guarantee this 5-second disarm to come through. No way to get rid of that whatsoever. But Ace trying to make a play of his own right now. Charge on in. Also with the help of the rest of the Gaimin Gladiators. But Ramses is also going to be there. Flaming Lasso to try and keep himself alive for as long as possible. But it doesn't make any difference. We'll see who else is actually going to turn up here. I think with dyrachyo now TPing into tier 1. We'll see if they can get the grab onto any of these major calls here for 9 Pandas. They're actually trying to find Ramses. He gets the Blink Dagger up towards the Twin Gate.
But I think they find him.
Yeah, they still spot him out. He's going to BKB TP. No way to stop that one.
Yeah, well, his BKB was down to 6 seconds anyway, but TPing away means that you can't actually rejoin the fight. So Kiyotaka is going to have to go for the steal, because you certainly can't go for the fight right now.
Yeah, they really can't.
But I like how Ramses knows this, so he just straight away goes up to farm. He's like, yeah, I don't really care. You know, it's like, it's all on Kiyotaka to steal it.
Yeah. We'll see if we could do some cute play. Jump in and out of the pit, perhaps. Steal the Aegis. Or maybe even the kill. Nah, it's probably not going to happen. He's too far away. Actually pinging him out from Seleri. He does have Flaming Lasso back off cooldown. He's going to get the grab. Perfectly timed there from the bat. Orb has already been used as well. Is there any way Kiyotaka can drive his way out? This one trying to TP. No cancel though. So Quinn, I'm sure, has probably got a bash speed up now. He kind of has to. But MieRo, he's also being caught on the complete opposite side of the map.
Dear.
That's just a freebie there for Ace.
It has not been MieRo's game at all. But at least for 9 Pandas, I think they're going to be able to get both Wisdom Ruins. So they go for the steal gets it. They're going to get theirs as well. So at least you get something, but you give away Aegis and a kill on your offlaner. And well, Ramses doesn't have BKB.
Yeah, still down for 12 seconds. He's actually going to use God Strength to stand his ground, try and kill these Brewlings as fast as possible. Good swap once again, gets him out there. But Ace, man, Ace just charging in. But doesn't actually go the right direction. Not going to be able to find the Sven, but even still, they pick up the freebie there off the bench. Oh wait, actually, they still found him, Ace, with the Storm Panda. They actually locate the Sven right now. Now he does have BKB back off cooldown. And there's not actually anybody else there yet for Gaimin Gladiators. Now he will pop it, but he doesn't even have enough mana to TP away, so he has to stand his ground right now, but eventually, surely, he gets ran down and killed.
This draft by 9 Pandas, it's just not, like the supports don't give you the ability to just stand and fight, you know what I mean? Whereas look at GG, you have Invoker support, he gives you so much firepower in these fights, and you have dyrachyo being farmed up, and Ace has just, I don't really like, often see this guy pop off on GG just because I don't watch all their games, but man, he is very impressive in this one.
Yeah, it's not very likely that you see a game with both Medusa and Sven, and it's the Brewmaster who has the most farm. That is actually bonkers, but yeah, hats off to him.
And not by like a little bit, like by a lot. He's not farming them. And then you look at the other side, MieRo is forced to get a Guardian Greaves just so he can like sustain himself.
Yeah, not the ideal build, but you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. They're already getting the high ground siege right now. Swap aggressively on towards Quinn. Not sure if they really have the damage. Obviously, no Sven for another 30 seconds. Does have buyback, wants to hold on to it for as long as possible. Maybe forced to use it though, as the rest of his team is just dying inside their own base. But he really does not care about that. He's like, defend without me or die without me. I don't care. It's one of those two.
And 15 seconds, that means that at least one rack should be able to fall by the time the Sven's ready to join these fights because they already used the glyph. He will have his ultimate though, so it could be a big opening, but oh god, the racks are falling, man.
Yeah, it's already gone, and then they're out. Alright, so they do at least keep the buyback on the Sven intact, but oh, kiyotaka. Okay, he's not gonna get caught.
Very close.
Yeah.
I have a question. You think if Amar saw the Guardian Greaves on Mars, he'd approve?
Maybe, because, I mean, like I mentioned, this is an absolutely diabolical game from the Mars. So it's like, you sort of, your options are very, very limited. And maybe it's enough because at the very least you have the capability to help your team, right? If you can heal one of them at some point before you die. I don't know.
Just feels like it's not an item you'd rather wish someone else, and you can go for a little bit more stats or something like that for the Mars. Either way, the smoke comes out.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get into the back line right now. Gaimin Gladiators, oh, the instant Hex though on towards the putt, but once again, Antares is there with the swap to provide the helping hand. Couldn't cost him his own life though, meanwhile MieRo. Good arena, catching on towards 2. Might be the death there of the Invoker. The Meteor Hammer actually lands into a couple of them as well. But the Medusa is just AFK, right-clicking everybody around them. Just people getting so damn low. Now Ace, the real carry of GG, turns up to start helping out. We've got Ramses focusing down onto Quinn. Too much damage. Blink off to the sides. Doesn't go very far. Next, the BKB doesn't last long enough. It's a disaster now from 9 Pandas. If Ramses got out there, it might not have been too terrible, but that is absolutely massive. And now 4 people gone. Gonna be another high ground coming out.
90 seconds on the clock for him, and this time it's like either you buy back or you get mega creep. And look at Medusa just stand there. They have an issue. They can't control the Medusa, but they also can't ignore her. You know, she's too farmed, so it's like we can't kill her and we can't leave her alone. And that's what she just stood and farm and did all the damage she had in Aegis. So this is the natural situation that you're in when you're 25,000 gold behind.
It's pretty brutal. Do you think maybe they need to build more Heaven's Halberds or something like that, and just try and make it so dyrachyo literally can't hit anybody? Do you think that might be the only answer?
I think that actually helps a lot. Like if you can have 2 of them, that's 10 seconds of the Medusa not hitting. That does add up. And we have seen Ramses being able to bring them down one by one. It's just
one by one though. That's the problem.
It takes a while, you know.
It really does.
And I remember we haven't even talked like this is without Ace, who's been doing a lot of damage as well in these fights.
He has. He's been an absolute troop for this game. As we see MieRo dragged to his death. Does drop the arena before he dies because he knew he didn't have buyback. There's no point holding on to it, but unfortunately it makes very little difference here. Tier 3 still falls. Mega creeps only seconds away, still 5 before Ramses even respawns, but the buildings are gone before then, and now Mega creeps at 34 minutes. Can 9 Pandas find some way of keeping themselves into this game? They actually do an aggressive swap onto the Medusa, but the Sprout is actually awkward. Ramses couldn't hit him, and now dyrachyo just walks away from it. That could have been the last chance there from 9 Pandas, but they just weren't on the same page. They weren't even on the same book. And GG is cool. They tap out. Gaimin take game number 1.
Completely different libraries there by 9 Pandas, unfortunately. And Ace he absolutely crushed it. Kiyotaka had a tough laning phase, but he was able